Hello, my name is Tommy, and I was supposed to be in this episode, but unfortunately, due to the equipment that I have here to record with the guys, Matt and Connor and Jake, and Jazz, who is in this episode as well, unfortunately, my stuff prevented me from being a part of this episode, so I'm very sorry that you guys are going to miss out on hearing what I had to say. So, did I say something? I guess you'll never know.
Hi, I'm Jake, otherwise known as The Decider. I desperately wanted to be on this show as we were talking about all things video games, and I've made gaming my entire personality, which, as you have seen and heard this far, is non-existent. So on to the real backbone of the show, our phenomenal hosts.
Fight!
Kind of a big deal. So couldn't resist with my co-host Ron Burgundy over here.
The colonials are acting up again. Damn it!
Shut up, Connor.
No comment.
I'm really just trying to make money off of Connor here.
You're right, but you're out of line.
Trying to have this not devolve into chaos.
I don't even know if there's anything usable in this. Some of it my fault. This is DYSS, the variety podcast that is not so varied anymore. I don't know, still kind of varied, right, guys?
You keep telling yourself that.
Anyway, as Jake alluded to, if you couldn't pick it up because of the accent and him sounds like he has a cock in his mouth at all times, we are going to be talking video games this episode, which is why we have brought Jazz along, because Jazz and I were on a little live doing some recordings for a project we're both on, and we brought up the subject of Fable. And Jazz was like, oh, I love Fable. So we'll get into that. Yes, it's one of my all-time favorites, but now is not the time. We will get on to that. I am Connor Lewis, one of your hosts for this episode of DYSS, and the bald guy is Matt Mangum, your other host. He's looking rather fresh-faced and baby-faced because he shaved. Unfortunately, all that does is draw attention to his massive chin. So, Matt, what have you been up to?
Oh, God, I really hate you. You know that?
That's fair.
Show me what you've got. No, I would totally exploit this as well.
For those of you that don't know, the Cromulons from Rick and Morty were based off of Matt.
It makes sense. Just look it up, do a side-by-side. You guys will find out. I would love to see multiple comparisons in the comments, please. Please do. That is a great engagement there. No, just been busy as always. So we talk about doing audiobooks, audio dramas, doing DYSS, doing some BBP stuff. And as far as gaming's been, we've been playing some games together, Connor and I and Jake, having a lot of fun, finding out some stuff. So in the future, we may find some DYSS gaming or a DYSS gaming channel. So look for that. And we'll be having some fun with our guests that are on today, as they are gamers, playing some games, screwing with each other, having fun, doing it DYSS style. So pretty much playing the game how it's not supposed to be played, as to just sabotage everything.
Yeah, 100%. Ding. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So, Jazz.
Hey, Jake. Shh. The talent's talking.
Producers are usually quiet and in the background.
Just trying to keep it on track.
What fucking tracks? We have tracks.
So anyway, to bring on our second guest. Yes, Jazz, I'm getting to it. There's your intro. Here's Jazz. Jazz, take it away.
Jazz hands.
Jazz hands. I don't have any game memorabilia.
That's fine. Matt only told Tommy, clearly.
I didn't get the memo, but there we are. But games are or have been influential in the books that I write. For example, Dante's Inferno was a massive influence for the design of the demons in my books.
Awesome.
Nice.
There's some really good characters there. So I can imagine from playing the game, the ideas. So what I think is cool about that with books is like if you have that influence, then you get to reach and engage a different audience. If you say just by saying something like that might gauge somebody's interest to read the book, to be like, oh, I want to see what these demons are like.
Yeah, I like to say that my Demons series is like a fusion of the TV shows Supernatural and Charmed. But in terms of like the design, demons in Supernatural, they just look like people or black smoke, right? So, it's not overly interesting. So I use things like clips from Dante's Inferno and Diablo and Dark Souls as inspirations for descriptions of places within hell and demonic visages.
Yeah, Diablo is a great influence for that stuff. There's so much lore to that game that's been going on for decades now, right? There's a lot to pull from there.
Oh, yeah. And my main female character, Lena, her demonic form was heavily influenced or inspired by Lilith from Diablo 4. Let me put it in I can put it in the Discord.
Swipe right, swipe right, swipe right, swipe left, swipe right, swipe right. There we go.
Does anyone know what he's on about?
Oh, yes, I'm the only guy that does dating apps. Okay. Cut that bit. Let's move on.
We're leaving. We're leaving that off.
Revisit that, shall we?
That absolutely stays in. By the way, if you haven't listened to episode or watched episode 7, that's a good segue to go back and listen to episode 7. Love you, Con.
Thanks, buddy.
Before we move on, Jazz, I can see a small plug in the background. Is that your book?
That's my book.
That you've got on display?
That's my book.
Display? Nice.
Which
Also,
has won
Jazz,
an award.
I was just about to bring that up for you. Which award did you win, Jazz?
I won the Literary Titan Gold Book Award. Thank you so much for asking, Connor.
My pleasure.
All right, that has to be an advert.
And real quick, because you have many, many hats, you also do artwork for books and book covers, I believe.
Yes, so I do book covers, character art as a digital artist for people. I also do like the voice acting and voiceovers, audiobook narration, and I own my own publishing company, Demonic Publishing, which provides sort of indie author service consultancy style services where we provide editing, formatting, and everything else in between that any indie author could possibly need.
Sounds like a pretty good deal to me. Hey, I'll tell you what.
Anything else?
And in my free time, I'm a mum.
Yeah.
That ties into what Connor and I have talked about several times about just, being overly busy to the point where you're about to go mad and pull your hair out is exactly the lane you want to be in. And if you can stick in that lane and keep grinding, then that's when you're about to have something happen. Tommy, I'm trying to explain it to you. So one day when you get there.
I get told often that I...
Wow.
Damn! Matt!
Sorry, Tommy.
I'm proud of you for that one.
Hey, gloves are off. All right, people. I've had to deal with Connor and Jake for so long now that I'm kids these days.
What do you mean?
So desensitized to the world.
Well, between Jake having hair and Matt having a beard, you got a full facial between the two of them.
Pause. Hold on.
This is a gaming show.
Jazz, if we want to talk about smut, we'll come over to your podcast. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
That's where that belongs. Not on my show.
Not on my watch.
Fable 3.
Do not come up. No.
Dog shit.
No. You do
All right,
not.
so while we're already talking
come
about it,
after
this is
Fable 3.
happening. We are talking about Fable and the Fable series, and apparently there has been a disgruntled view of opinions on Fable 3. So we would like Jake and Jazz to continue this conversation about their thoughts on Fable 3. Jazz, let's have you go first.
Was God
tell us
tier.
about it.
of the Fable games. You do not come up with Fable 3.
No.
Yes.
No. Fable 2 was the king.
No. Fable 2.
Yeah.
Fable 2 was the worst.
No. Fable 1 was the best. Fable 2 added mechanics on that, okay. Don't get me wrong, it wasn't perfect. Then Fable 3 just took the story and went, ha, fuck you. And yeah, ruined.
So it could be said that from a lore point of view for you, Jake, and the story, if you're a story gamer, you lost out on that. You felt like Fable 3 more so, that you didn't have as much story involved?
Maybe it was because I was older. But I don't know. Fable 1 honestly hooked me.
Fable 1, I will agree that Fable 1 was the best.
Yeah, I've played that 5-6 times through. And the connection to the guild, and now I have to remember the story. Jesus. But
no, you don't.
Like losing the guild and
we don't have
parents dying and growing up. It was just amazing. Then Fable 2 just went, here's the future. Industrialized it, added loads of mechanics, like the combat got so much better. And then I don't know what Fable 3 decided to do, but that whole saving the kingdom bullshit right at the end just wasn't for me at all.
But you could have, like, you could get married, you could have bastard children.
In all of them.
There was all of the customization. Yeah.
2 and 3.
But one point I think you could both agree on is Fable 4 is going to be pretty fucking good. It looks amazing.
It looks good.
I cannot wait for Fable 4. I am like on the edge of my seat waiting for this game.
Yeah.
The thing for me, the differences between like Fable 1 was a fantastic storyline. It was a game that was that was outstanding in its field of the games of the time when it came out. The thing for Fable 2 for me was that you had this storyline running, which was a fantastic storyline with the tower and the decisions, and it had that good versus evil decision story that dynamic that you had. But you got to the end, and no matter what, you were presented with 3 choices. And that is if you went down the route of delving into the mechanics of making a family and having children. And that was save all the people that died in the tower, save your family, which you come home to find them slaughtered, or save your dog. I'm sorry. I'm given 3 choices. Dog every time. But everyone's going to hate you for saving your dog. I'm like, excuse me? No. Real life, everyone would like understand. But then Fable 3, I think the reason why I loved Fable 3 so much is that it brought in a diversity and an inclusivity that other stories and other games didn't do. It brought in being able to have a female character. It brought in being able to have same-sex relationships. It brought in being able to adopt, not just have children. Like, it expanded the relationship dynamics that a lot of games don't look into.
Which is pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, especially considering I don't actually know when Fable 3 came out, but I know it's an old game. So yeah, considering the time that it came out, that's a big deal. Also, this ties in with the number 3 as well. So the third game in series seems to be quite divisive amongst our guests and hosts, because the Halo series is a phenomenal series. And Halo 3 is a personal favorite of mine. That story, the fact you can do it multiplayer, that end mission with the Warthog where it's just, everything's exploding, the feelings of pressure, and it's such a good game. Matt, do you agree?
It's not bad.
You're wrong.
I mean, there are. Okay, so I went recently, like 2 years ago. I got a Steam Deck when it very first came out, and I wanted to play a bunch of stuff, and I got the Master Chief Collection because back in the day, I had an original Xbox, all of that, played Halo, the first one, CE, like crazy. And I do, don't get me wrong, I love Halo. I do. Halo is one of my favorite FPSs that there are. And I wouldn't say I don't like Halo 3. I just don't think it's the best one. I really don't. It's got really good elements to it, but to be completely honest, there is something about every single Halo game that bothers the crap out of me. I love it so much, but there are elements to each game that they do.
When you said that, his face went from, okay, I'll see where this goes. And as soon as you said that, his eyes just filled with rage.
That's fine. And that's part of what's good about this, right? Is that's if video games can cause you to talk about them, that's good. If it causes all of these different interests, you know what I mean, that come from different people and different points of view, that's a good thing. You could say the same thing about shows, books, all of that, right? It's PR all the way around. So I don't know. I don't know what it is about some of the games. There's some of the mechanics that changed in some of the recent games that are kind of you know what I mean? Halo 5. It's
don't do it. Just don't say it.
Say it.
Just don't
say the weird thing.
I enjoy Halo 5. I like it quite a bit. I liked the one thing, it's almost like Destiny that you get sick of, is I am sick of playing and fighting the exact same enemies over and over again with different skins. Or when they go, here's a new DLC pack, and they're like, no, it's the last 3 maps in reverse. That's not a new map. Right? Things like that. So I love the new enemies, though, in Halo 5. I liked all that. There was a lot of hate on that and how they worked and operated. I thought it was tough. It was challenging. And they upped the mechanics. But if I was going to say my favorite, if you're going to go multiplayer, would be Reach. Is because I'm just old school. I just loved playing Reach multiplayer. It was one of the best. And the new one
statement is
the new multiplayer went back to the old school.
Oh, really?
Really, really good. The latest one was really good.
Infinite
multiplayer
Infinite was good fun.
Yeah,
beautiful. And Infinite is probably my favorite of all.
I am looking forward to the switch to Unreal Engine. That's going to be beautiful when that happens.
Anything hitting the new Unreal Engine is just ridiculous. Did you guys play the Matrix demo at all?
Oh my God, that was fucking good. It was beautiful.
Just fantastic.
Yeah, I spent a lot longer than anybody should in that game just looking. I just went around looking in buildings because with most games, when you look in a building, it's just a picture of the inside. And it might not even be the same if you look in through this window. But like in that Matrix demo, every room was it's a room. Like it's an actual thing. It's being generated. It was beautiful. Yeah, I liked it a lot.
And then the Superman version that somebody made in Unreal Engine 5 was
see
just
that.
Oh boy, it was great. Bye, Jazz. It was great. So this is
it's Jazz. It's bedtime. Night, Jazz. Sleep well.
Yeah, you'll have to look that up. Everybody, check that out. The Superman that somebody did in Unreal. It was just so. Because that's been a game that's never really made a really good one. There's never been like a really good Superman game, in my opinion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Decent, okay. Like the old school ones on SNES were pretty good. The side scrollers, they were okay, but
I think superhero games are hard to make.
They are.
There are more bad superhero games than good ones.
That's true. Actually.
Do you remember when Batman Begins came out? They released a game as well. That was okay from what I remember.
It was all right.
Yeah. But I think you're right. I don't think there's any superhero games that you go, oh my God, this is amazing. I think they're mostly just, that's all right.
Other than, I would say the best out would be the Spider-Man series.
New Spider-Man series. Yeah.
The new Spider-Man and the Batman Arkham series is just those are.
I would like to withdraw my previous statement. The Batman Arkham series, holy fuck, the combat in that is fan-fucking-tastic.
Due to new evidence.
I loved the Arkham trilogy.
Yeah, because there was a trilogy, and then they made a couple spin-offs, and then a prequel, and then that was exactly, Tommy, that face. The prequel was like, ugh.
Never played them.
No, they regressed on that one. And then I'll speak on one more because I have to on superhero games, and then we can move on. Is next year there's probably going to be only one video game I ever play for the rest of my life if it's as good as the leaked footage is, and because it's done by Insomniac. Wolverine, people. I've been waiting for that game my whole life, Tommy.
Did you play the Origins game that came out of the film? That game was pretty good. I enjoyed that. I think that's one of the only games that I've 100%ed. I enjoyed that game a lot.
I played that game enough that I could make sure that I got the blue and yellow costume and went back and replayed the whole game as the comic book Wolverine. I was like, that looks so much better.
I just wanted to touch on something you said, Matt, which was about the combat system in Halo changing and how it annoyed you. One series that I absolutely love, and I still do love them, but just not as much, is Assassin's Creed. The Assassin's Creed series is, my for years, that was the game that I would always ask my grandparents for at Christmas. What do you want for Christmas? New Assassin's Creed. New Assassin's Creed. And then they brought out, which was the first one where I really noticed the change? I think it was Origins, where the combat system completely changed. And suddenly you can't just stand in the middle of the street taking on the entire army, which I used to love doing. And suddenly you had to, it made it more challenging. And whilst I have gotten used to that challenge now, at the time, I remember thinking, why change the combat system? It was fantastic. Like running around as Ezio and Altair, just decimating everything. It was one of my favorite pastimes. Changing combat systems is always a bit of a risk, I think. Because people get used to what they're used to. They learn to love and how to be good at that. And then you go, okay, that's cool. But now we're just going to scrap that. Here's this new thing. And then you go into it and you're like, oh, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah, and I can say, and Jake can attest to this one too, because one of our favorite games, God of War, from God of War 1, 2, and 3, and then all the smaller mobile games, and then the little ones you could get on like Sega Genesis and stuff, like, or not Genesis, Game Gear, all those that came along. And then all of a sudden 2016 hits, right? And it was like the new God of War hits, and it was the combat system was entirely different. You have a different point of view. Even when you get the Blades of Chaos, it still is not the same. I feel like I love the games. I do love the new ones. I love Ragnarok. I got into them. They're a ton of fun. One of my favorite gaming series ever is God of War. But from the originals, I just feel like, and Jake, I don't know how you feel about this. I feel like I don't see and feel as much destruction and chaos as you did as in like God of War 3. So to, you know what I mean?
So I've actually never played the original God of Wars ever. I've played the new one, and I fucking love the new one to pieces.
Hey, Jake, what's one of the most personalized gifts you ever got for your birthday?
Oh, yeah. Do you have that?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Don't
that looks like Connor painted it.
Don't show the one bit I didn't do.
But no, it's very beautiful. He did a fantastic job. And the reason he got me this is because my gaming name for a very long time was Kratos.
Nice.
It was. The annoying thing about that bust, though, is that it was meant to be a headphone holder. That's what it was advertised as, and then it came, and I was like, the fuck head is this going to play? Whose head is this based on?
A child's head.
Clearly for a kid's headphones, but...
Yeah.
Well, hold on. You also have to realize that Jake has an above average sized dome piece.
That's fair.
Above average.
Yeah.
Above average. That's down selling the size of my head. somewhat prolifically.
There are moons in the solar system smaller than that head.
Like, this is a normal size head.
The thing I've noticed with like gaming now and for like the younger generation, like, yeah, okay, my daughter's only 5. Like, she's only just getting into gaming. But her assumption is that everything is a touch screen.
Yes.
And I've bought like one of those. I still have my old Game Boy. And I have bought like a couple of games for it. And I've tried to show her. And she keeps going to touch the screen. I'm like, no. Okay. I see.
Yeah.
I get the disconnect because you've got your tablet and you play games on there and that's all touch.
Mm-hmm.
But like, so then we've got the Xbox and I've got the controller and I give her a dummy controller and I'm like, okay, but you press it. No, you can't touch the TV. No, the TV is not touch screen. Okay.
How sad is it in this generation, though, that we have to teach our children what buttons are?
Oh, mate, no, because
think about our phones. Like, none of our phones have buttons anymore.
No, my eldest is he's just turned 5 and he's big on his tablet, big into YouTube, and he finds all these crazy things. And he's massively into space. And he found this guy that does Space Engine, which is a pretty cool game. I had to download it for him. But playing on my laptop, because I figured that would be easier for him to try and figure out than mouse and keyboard. Like, it's all there. First thing he did was started poking at the screen. I'm just like, no, dude. my laptop's not that fancy. Yeah, no fingerprints.
Not every screen is a touch screen.
Yeah, that's been interesting, but it has been fun watching him learn and develop and get better at things. So there was also another one, Space Flight Simulator, where you can build your rockets and you can send them up into orbit, and then there's challenges you can do. And it's like a proper cool little game, but it's also easy for him to just create a rocket, send it up into space. He can now do that on my laptop. Obviously, sometimes he needs a little bit of help with the trackpad because his fingers he presses too hard on it or whatever. But watching him learn that skill as a gamer dad, love it.
Speaking of really difficult games, Disney games, damn it. They're some of the hardest games that I've ever played. Back in the day, Aladdin, if you know what I'm talking about, on Sega.
Yes.
Lion King, screw that game. I never got past the first level, and I was like, nope, this is not fun at all.
And most of those games, like the Aladdin game, was the base of like the Atlantis game and a couple of the other,
a lot of the same stuff,
like Prince of Persia and that. But they were tough.
What a game! I forgot about Prince of Persia.
Oh, Prince of Persia started.
Prince of Persia really, in my opinion, started a lot of the third-person world exploration type things and the puzzles. So, like, God of War wouldn't have that in it without Prince of Persia, especially when Prince of Persia got big. You know, the original was a side-scroller like you're talking about, Jazz, right? But then when they got 3D with it and really started moving on, it kind of coincided with Tomb Raider. I do have to say Tomb Raider probably gave a little bit of that, too.
Yeah.
That's an old PC game that started that. But between those, now we have all of these games. I mean, look what Zelda has evolved into. Like when Breath of the Wild came out, oh my goodness! Like what a game! You know what I mean? The whole Zelda series is just I love all of them. I know people say they hate some of them. I love every game for what it is and what it was at that time.
The good thing for me about like the Zelda franchise and the Disney franchise as well is that they developed games or side games that were ableist inclusive. So there were like games like Dreamlight Valley, for example. It's got the favorite lovable characters that everyone loves from the Disney franchise in the casual play, just explore, build, create without having that negative feedback that can be a struggle for like younger generations getting into gaming to deal with. Like obviously learning how to deal with the negative feedback on games, like dying and having to respawn and rebuild, like that is a good thing to learn. But very young generations, with how much technology is in our life.
I
With how
laugh
much
because
technology is in our life, we need games like that.
we do, and I get what you're saying now because the younger are so much more exposed. But you know what I mean? To those of us, you're talking about the same age group that were exposed to early PC games and NES games where there is no respawn. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, you
just
just
go
made
back to
8
level
levels in 4
1.
hours and you died. Guess what? Start over. That is. I wonder if there's got to be a statistic somewhere of how many game controller pads have been thrown at TV screens. You know that number is super high because I've thrown many controllers
Well,
in my
I mean,
life.
if you look at the Wii console when it came out, people didn't put the wrist straps on.
Yes.
Those videos are great. So many people, and I feel bad, but I'm like, come on, the strap's there, people, so I don't feel that bad.
There's a
But like, they
point
put it
to
there
the
for a reason.
strap,
But so many TVs get busted and lamps and people getting
Oh, it's
decked
so
in the
uncool
face.
to put the
they were
safety strap
beautiful.
on.
The amount of compilation videos of people just getting twatted in the face, just beautiful.
And then they brought the accessories, so you could
got
hook the
snacks,
controller into like a golf club or a tennis racket.
Yes, yes, you could. I do just want to quickly. What game were we playing? I think we were playing Call of Duty in lockdown, and we. Jake, you know the story I'm about to tell, Jake.
I know the story very well.
So there was me, Jake, Tom, and another one of our friends, Ozzy, who were all playing, and we had the party set up, and we were playing COD. And Ozzy went away for like 5 minutes to do something and came back. When he came back, without uttering a word, we all just jumped on the bandwagon of, Ozzy, you back? Or he's like, yeah, I'm back. Guys, can anyone hear Ozzy? Guys, I'm here. But I don't know if he's back or and we dragged this on for about 5 minutes to the point where he got so fucking angry that he shouted something along the lines of fucking kids. And then all you can hear was as the controller and headset is sailing through the air and then bang into the wall. We're all sat there like, oh, we might have fucked up. He comes back 10 minutes later with a different headset, different controller. Can you guys hear me? Oz, are you there? No, we can hear you. We can hear you. We can hear you the whole time.
I have been on the receiving end of this in Bewildered Biscuit production meetings where I've showed up and Jarrett and Joe and Dennis all did that to me for like 15 minutes. I've restarted my computer, went through Discord, did all the things. They played it just beautifully. And then the never not funny when you're in a chat, somebody's giving you shit, and then you just leave because I think everybody does that, and it's hilarious. This was a very important meeting, and I left, and I didn't come back. And I didn't talk to them for like 3 days. I was like, hope you guys make good business decisions. Fuck off.
Amazing.
All right, so let's move on. We talked about a lot of the games that we love, some different series, talked about some differentiation, that word, in series.
I'm not even going to bail you out.
Nope, need to. I just left it. I fucking abandoned it. Move on. Let's talk about the worst games we've ever played. So we talked about difficult games, but that is a different subject than this is the worst game I've ever played. Games that you absolutely loathe, can't stand. Okay, Jazz, worst game or most hated game that you've played?
It's probably a controversial one.
Table.
Yeah, BioShock. I
Really?
cannot stand BioShock.
Originals or new ones?
Jake's had enough.
Yeah, no. So are you talking about the original BioShocks,
not,
like they were on the old Nintendos, or are you talking about the newer series on Xbox and PlayStation?
The newer. So I love the storyline of BioShock, and I love the world building and the lore behind it. But that terrifies the crap out of me. that terrifies the living crap out of me. I'm sorry, landing on in the ocean and just swim to a thing, like, sure, swim onto it, go down a shady elevator. Who the frack does that?
Real quick, I just want to draw attention to the fact that Jake held up some random person's artwork up longer than he did the thing that I spent fucking hours painting for him, one of a kind. I get there.
Anyway, sorry, just carry on.
Yeah, it's not that I don't like the game as such, but I had such a visceral reaction to playing it the first time. I literally, like, Control-Alt-Deleted out of the game because I had a full-on panic attack in the first 5 minutes.
Now, that is a very legit reason to hate a video game.
Yeah,
I get that. So, and that'll be a good segment after we talk about this one to get into the next part. That's going to kind of go into around the season that we're in now too. But all right, Con, what is your worst, most hated game? One of them.
It was a very. I don't think it was a very well-known game, but you remember those like independent game shops you used to be able to go to, and they'd just have racks of fucking pre-owned games. I was walking through one of those one day, and I came across a game that said Vampire Reign, and I was like, "Ooh, I like vampires. That sounds pretty cool." Bought it, took it home, started playing it, and I enjoyed it for about 5 minutes, and then there was just this mission that there was a part of a mission that I could not see a way to fucking do it. I believe you were a human who was hunting vampires, and you had to go into the shop, into the dark, where obviously the vampires are, and they just have all these fucking powers. So I walked into the shop, dead. Like, okay, I'll try a different way. Dead. And it was just a fucking death loop. And I'm like... that's the closest I've ever come to taking a disc out of the drawer and fucking snapping it. I returned it the next day though. I was like, nah, fuck this shit. And then I was trying, and then I still think about it now though. Like, what did I miss in that mission? Like, what was I meant to do? Because it's probably going to stick with me for the rest of my life. Is that I didn't get past like 10 minutes into the game.
There's always a new day that you could try that out, Con.
I don't know where I would find it. In fact, continue without me for a moment.
There are ways. Those of you who know, if you know, you know. Jake, yours.
So it'll be controversial because I want to love this game, but I am just too young to have appreciated it. And therefore the style of the way this game is played, and it's not just this game, but it is the style of these games, set camera games. So your Resident Evil 1, see, that's what I mean. It's not a bad game, but I just can't enjoy it. My first Resident Evil that I played properly the whole way through was 4. The first one I ever played was 2. The first one I played the whole way through and enjoyed was 4. I went back to 1 and I couldn't stand aiming without being able to aim. I just hated it so much. There was a room upstairs, as furthest I got, there was a room upstairs, had some tentacles in it. There was a pool. And I just could not work out what the hell I had to do. But my brain could not click with set camera angle games. So, yeah. And there was another one that I played that was very similar. It had Dino Crisis. That one I enjoyed, but I never got very far. Again, I must have been like 6, 7 when I was playing this game.
That's fair, too, because that's how a lot of games were that were starting to come out, that they were really exploring how to have a 3D world. And so Resident Evil was in that style, Resident Evil 2 for sure, which will also be a good segue. So mine is a more recent game. I've had games that were just so challenging that I got angry and I just quit playing them, but it didn't mean I hated them. You know what I mean? Returnal. That game came out about 4 or 5 years ago, I believe. So the idea of Returnal is you start, right, wherever you get to, you die, you reset back to where you started, and then your whole world is different every time you die. Nothing is ever the same. It's always random. So you might get 4 or 5 levels in, die. You have to go back to the start. And then when you go back to the start, you come back and the whole world is different. What I mean is, like, you might go through an easy level on level 1. You walk in and there's 90 guys plus a boss, very first thing, and you just blat. Shit. Then you go back and you start again, get through 2 levels, blat. Finally get to that mid, because there are checkpoints where you can finally get to a point and then you can restart and start there. Even getting to the first one, that's this little cabin house, I could never get to it. This boss would come out, and no matter what I did or what configuration of weapons I would get or receive, because that's lucky too. Depends on what weapons you find along the way. All of that. So I don't get a lot of time to game between working, running companies and day job and families. You know, we've talked about it's hard to find time to game these days. So being able to do that, and like I don't want to go do Supermarket Simulator after work for 2 hours if that's all I have to game. But if that's your thing and that's how you like, what games you like to play, and that's a good release for you, more power to you. I mean that. For me, I want to go and accomplish something, or depending on the day, I need to go blow up and shoot a whole bunch of shit and destroy things to make me feel better. Right? But I don't want it to be the most frustrating thing the whole time. You know what I mean? I want it to be enjoyable. I want to enjoy the game. Like, I do enjoy difficult games if they're playable, if you get what I mean by that. You know what I mean? So yes, I've gone from being a kid putting it on the hardest mode possible to being like, novice looks good. I like story and
games are break from reality, and you know, they allow you to live something different. Like Matt said, achieving something for him. It's a break from his reality. All right, you got to, so whatever you need to do, Matt, to help achieve those dreams, buddy. You know, if that's putting it on easy mode, more power to you. Sweet, Jake, worst game.
Anybody going to tell him?
No, I think we should just leave him to
just let him be.
You've already done it.
5 minutes fast. Okay. So,
was this when I was looking up Vampire Rain? Probably was.
Probably.
Yeah.
To move on, I did want to show what I had for my video game.
The memory banks.
Mine was like a steel trap. We showed some video game memorabilia and stuff like that, and this will also segue into these different genre of games. This is one of my favorite figurines that I have. I know this will make Jake happy.
Oh, it's
this
Halo guy.
Dude, I will kill you.
fuck out.
Fuck out of my podcast. What is that meme that was like the kids like, it's the Fortnite guy? Like, oh god. Yeah. So lots of detail.
That is beautiful.
Pretty gorgeous little setup here. Love this. That was a gift from a friend. That guy sits up. So I love figurines like that. Doom is my all-time favorite FPS ever, because I got this $700 Steam Deck, had this cool portable gaming machine. What did I do? I got mods so I could go back and play Doom 2, all the master levels, but and then all the custom levels that come with that, because people write a whole bunch of awesome stuff. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you got to look up Project Brutality, stuff like that. Turn it so you can look everywhere, actually aim. There's multitudes of weapons, things like that.
Resident Evil. Sorry.
Yep.
Continue.
Are you just now?
I was dealing with a crying child and I still picked up on it.
Do you see the bullshit, people? Look at him. Fucking little kid. God. All right. So, Doom guy. Doom. Moving into, we were going to talk about stuff with the season, horror games. So curious to see how you guys feel about playing the horror genre. If you like it, if you don't like it, things that terrify you. So Which is
Feel like
interesting
Jazz
because Jazz got just so excited, yet after telling us how petrified she got of getting into a game.
Bioshock.
Because of a lift.
So I was just going to assume Bioshock for Jazz was the worst horror game ever. But that does go back into, a callback to Resident Evil. Zombies, right? Whole series in that. One of my favorites. I'm not a big horror game person, really. There's a couple that I'll play. I don't enjoy being scared to that effect. I just don't, never have. There are some things that are really cool to watch, though, and gory. And like I can play Doom and murder demons and all of that and have no problem with it. Same with killing zombies, but there's some zombie games, too, I can't stand. So let's start out with Con this time. What is your most favorite horror game to play?
Oh, I love the Left 4 Dead games. Okay. I think they hit me at the right age. The multiplayer, the characters, the jump scares, just hearing the hunter in the background and going, nope. Or the tank music and the fear that fucking instilled in me. You think you've got a handle on a level, you've got the weapons, you've got ammo, you're just killing zombies for fun, and then you hear the tank music, you're like, fucking safe from, go, 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 go. Yeah. Left 4 Dead and Left 4 Dead 2, they were some of my favorite games. I did play Outlast. Nope.
No, never.
Nope. I'm not usually a jump.
Tommy, no, surely no.
I'm not usually a jump scare kind of guy, but the way I paused, exited, and uninstalled that game. Nope.
When it comes to horror games, when they take your sense of defense away, I hate it.
Yeah.
So Outlast can get fucked. I've got no defense. I run. That's it. I run and I hide. I feel powerless. I can't deal with it.
Yeah.
Whereas Resident Evil 7, so we've gone from Resident Evil 4 and 5 taking the horror out of survival horror, and now Resident Evil 7 put the horror back in and, took the action completely out. Fuck me, did that scare me as well. Running through that house with that guy chasing you. No. Yeah. But at least I had a gun.
Jazz, what about you, other than Bioshock?
Bioshock for me is just because anything with water, I can't do. I have a massive fear of the ocean. But in terms of horror games, my favorites are like Vampire or Vampire, which is...
great
you
game.
play a vampire, like you get turned into a vampire, and you've got all these different choices and different possible endings from that. And trying to it's set in plague time, and I really love that. I also like horror games that have like a puzzle element to them. So Dark Manor.
Yes.
It's got jump scares and that, but you're trying to go and find artifacts to get through the manor and stay out of the sight of the horror creatures. And also Lies of P, which I think is like a debatable horror one, but it's a Dark Souls engine game, and it's Pinocchio storyline.
Right, but I would consider that one horror. There's enough elements in there that I would say, that should be in that genre of games. Yeah. I think as far as for horror games, ones that really scared me, there was a game, and I think I briefly talked to you and to Jake and Connor about this, but there was an FPS called Fear back in the day. And, Tommy remembers Fear. And so Fear was, you were kind of a black ops soldier, all that stuff. You get taken to a facility, kind of the same, you know what I mean? But they did really good elements in that game of starting to put the stuff on the screen. So not only would you be walking through and you hear noises, and then all of a sudden this creepy ring-looking girl just on the screen at you, right? And that is the only time in a game that I've legit been sitting in my chair and jumped completely back, fell over, scared the absolute shit out of me. And by the way, if you want to not scare yourself so bad, don't play games by yourself in a in an empty house in pitch black
with headphones on.
Yeah, with headphones on. Yeah. It's terrible.
Oh, do you guys remember? I don't know who would have played this. It was an internet flash game, and there was a maze. This maze just gradually got smaller and smaller and smaller. And the last little bit really had you concentrating with the tiniest of mouse movements. And the second you got to the end, Ring Lady smashed on your screen.
Yeah.
Scariest game to this day I've ever played in my life.
One thing we haven't talked about on this gaming episode is VR either. Horror games in VR?
Again, no. I remember playing Half-Life Alyx. Now, yes, horror game. Is it very jump scary? No. I mean, there's horror elements to Half-Life, let's be honest.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
And you go through a section in this game, it only gives you a flashlight for the first time and it's on your wrist. You also use your gun with your wrist, and oh, mate, it was just vile. I've never been so fucking terrified in my life, but I had to get past it.
Mm-hmm.
Had to, because I was enjoying the game so much.
I always wanted to play Alyx because Half-Life was one of my favorite PC games. Half-Life, Half-Life 2, and then all of the remasters. That's just one of the best. That's also up there with one of my favorites. I think I agree with what you're saying, Jake. Like when they make you that vulnerable, right? And I can't imagine doing that in VR. Like that drives somebody crazy. That's when people like just run into their wall, stuff like that, right?
Have you seen the clips?
Yes,
of the people
all the
doing
clips.
walk the plank.
Yes, walk the plank and jump on their face. Yeah, there's elements of VR that are hilarious.
Honestly, though, Tommy, VR headset, it's such a good investment. Like they are so amazing.
You get to look at Jake's fighting style as well, which is kind of just flick the wrists.
The problem with VR is it works.
Well, it's the same as the Wii. You could, people like get into bowling in the Wii, and then when I would get tired, I would just sit there and go. Do the same thing. The only reason that I want a VR headset, and I would spend hundreds of dollars for one, is there is a guy on TikTok that makes videos. If you're familiar with him, his name is Space Cadet Kevin.
I love his channel. Yeah, Blade and
only
Sorcery.
Reason I want Blades and Sorcery, so I can go do all of those mods and do all of the amazing stuff that he does. Like the last ones that I saw he did, he made himself giant in the settings and the scale so that when he comes in, he's just massive. And so he's just grabbing the NPCs. And
I can feel like what it's to be tall.
So how I met Connor was through VR.
Yeah.
I was playing a game, met Tom, and then Tom introduced me to Con.
Yep.
And we went and played a first-person shooter. And I swear to God, I turned around and went, "Are you really that sure?"
I think you asked me if I was sat down. just yeah. Playing VR, it will test the density of your bones. The amount of times that Jake and I have been so into a game and you just hit fuck. You're like, what did you punch, buddy? The fucking wall.
Door, lampshade.
Jake's got this really good bit in his garage where like the beam that holds up the ceiling runs across right where you're playing. So when you go to swing for something, you fuck.
It's a very low roof. Like the roof in the garage is about this high off my head. First gaming session in the garage, we were playing Dungeons of Eternity, and I went to swing at something, and my knuckle just burst open. Blood.
It was a beautiful moment.
This podcast is making me realize how much of a gamer I actually was.
That's a perfect segue, actually. Let's go test that knowledge, shall we? Jake has so kindly made a very special version of Disquoted and come up with gaming quotes for us to do. Jake, have you got everybody on Discord?
Well, here's the thing. I'm actually going to read them this time. I'm not a voice actor, but I know how all of these should be said. So it's going to... Okay. One thing I've been feeling we're missing from Disquoted is Yes. We'll come back to that.
Good.
Context is the word I'm looking for.
Well, it's kind of
Context.
hard to add context to a quote you don't know what you're reading. Like you can tell you can tell the ones that we know because they have voices, they have meaning, and then you get the other ones like in episode.
Or you just read
episode
words.
8 where we just guessed.
I'm quite disparaged after the last couple games.
Yeah.
So
What do we think to mixing this up a little bit?
It's been bad.
Do we want to do teams?
Yeah, we could. Let's do a host versus guest because then we can. I can go host guests and as we go forward.
Okay. Jake is going to, in this episode, read us a quote, and what we have to do is guess the name of the character. I'm guessing for this.
It's his character this time.
The name of the game it's from, and the year that it came out.
Correct.
Yes.
So you
Exactly,
can get, Jazz, you can get up to 3 points per round. So you get 1 point for each correct guess. Quote 1. On your feet, soldier. We are leaving. The game, the character, and the year the game came out. So even if you haven't got anything, write a year down. You might get a lucky point.
I don't know why I'm feeling confident about this one.
After last episode, you have no right to feel confident.
About anything.
10 seconds.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Show me your boards.
Where is it? There it is. There's the sweet
I have
spot.
no idea.
Captain Price, Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 2, 2009.
It was Captain Price. It was Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Fuck.
Yeah.
And the year was 2007.
Yeah.
What was everyone's point, Sex? It's really hard for me to see.
No, that's fair.
boards
I got
and-
Captain Price, and I got Call of Duty,
So
Modern
you got
Warfare.
one. No, you
Yeah,
didn't.
no,
Matt, you got Fat Zero.
I wrote Modern Warfare.
Right, number 2. What are you buying?
That's like every open world
Yeah,
game
right?
ever.
No.
There's so many
This is very. If you know it, you know it. You would have played this game and heard it 1,000 times. Oh, Tommy, just so you might have a chance of getting full points here, don't overthink the name.
Hold the fuck up. You don't do that for Matt and me.
I like Tommy.
Fuck. Wherever you're
5
putting
seconds.
yourself, fuck you.
5, 4,
Oh shit.
3, 2, 1. Boards.
2013.
2006?
2012.
Well, Tommy gets 1 point and everyone else gets none.
Fucking fixed.
Big fat 0.
This is the last time that Jake runs a game.
Yeah.
All right, number 3. Ah, shit. Here we go again. Okay. I will give the series is one of the most popular gaming series of all time. No questions asked. There's the only clue I'm going to give you.
I hate this.
I'm gonna.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boards.
Fucking. Oh,
No here.
yeah.
It's GTA.
Okay. It is GTA San Andreas.
Yeah, but
It is CJ. I don't know what.
CJ, that's who it was.
And the year, this is going to be even more annoying for you there, Jazz. 2004.
Fuck, of course it is.
One was one off.
I got a point.
So Matt got 1.
1 point.
I got
the name.
Jazz got 1. Tommy got none. Cog got none. Number 4. Wake the fuck up, Samurai. We have a city to burn.
Fuck, what's his name? Get the points I do know.
I know. I don't know his name.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boards. Johnny Sins.
What is Johnny?
Wrong. We're not talking about that.
What's his fucking name?
The answer is Johnny Silverhand.
Silverhand.
Johnny Silverhand.
What's Sins? Oh.
Oh.
Wrong podcast
Like
once
he doesn't
again.
know exactly.
No,
what
I am not going to Google that.
You played Dom.
2022, though, is the year I did put.
No, but we do have someone that got the year.
2020?
20.
Correct.
Cyberpunk's been out for 4 years.
Yeah.
4 years.
Yeah, because the first 2 years was all of the shit they went through for getting hated on for building the worst of releasing a game and ruining the gaming industry. So now everybody has to wait 5 years to release a fucking game.
Yep.
Or you get canceled.
I fully enjoyed the game from day one.
I did too. Yeah, I thought it was a great game. Although,
I got 2 points.
anyway, we're not talking about it yet.
Yes, you did. So the running score so far is Matt on 2, Con on 2, Tommy on 1, Jazz is on 3. What are you on 3, Matt?
I'm on 3 points.
Name them. You might be. I might have missed
Grand Theft Auto.
Grand Theft Auto, and you got to that one. Yeah. Number 5. Would you kindly?
And that's exactly how it's said in the game because you know how to say all of them properly.
Not this one. No, it's pretty much every time he wants you to do something. Would you kindly? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Show your boards.
I hate you, Jake.
Why'd you hate me, Matt? What do you? I know why Jazz hates me. I brought up Bioshock. So, yes, it's Frank Fontaine. It's Bioshock, and the year was 2007.
Yeah, but I got Bioshock, which is better than I thought I was going to do.
Yeah,
So,
it's in 2006.
Jazz on 4, Connor on 3.
Yep.
I swear to God, if someone doesn't get... most of you should get 2 here, surely. Number 6. Wake me when you need me.
Can you blame me for thinking...
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thoughts?
No, Matt, fuck off. We got the exact same.
Who put Halo 3?
I just had
Correct.
Halo.
So Connor and Matt. It was Halo 3 Master Chief 2007. So that puts Connor on 5, Matt on 5. Jazz, what did you have? MC and Halo.
Halo, that was it.
So 1 point.
I'll give you Master Chief.
I need a weapon.
4, 5. So everyone's on 5, but Tommy. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Show your boards. Okay, so it is Fable. It is the Guildmaster, and it's 2004.
Ah.
I got 1.
Was it Fable? Which Fable?
Fable.
Fable. Okay.
Original.
So that puts Matt on 6, Jazz on 7, and Tommy and Con still on 5 and 1. That's why I didn't expect Tommy to get it. He's never played Fable.
Consistently shit.
Here, this is going to be goddamn terrible. But I don't even know if I can pull this one off.
Stage fright? Happens to us all, buddy.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what it would be like trying to do a voice in a room full of voice actors.
If I run out of bullets, I will have to resort to stabbing. I could do the whole thing in German, but I'd really struggle. That's your clue.
Oh, you just gave it to Connor.
Fucking, what's his name? What's his name?
No idea.
What's your name?
What's your name?
What's your name? 5.
God, I have no idea.
3, 2.
Yep, I'm going to throw something up there.
I mean, you're still second.
Oh, good guess.
Yeah,
Call of
no.
Duty?
It's Black Ops. I mean, it could have been multiple. It's anything with Richthofen in. I'm pretty sure he says it in multiple games, but I was going for Black Ops. It was Richthofen. And the year was 2010.
Fuck.
Okay, so that puts Connor on 7. Matt, you just put COD. Tommy, you put World War II. And Jazz, what did you put? Just COD.
Hey, I thought we got points for getting
I put
close
Doom.
around here. I thought that's how you were.
I heard German. I was like, Doom.
Round 9?
Yep.
Hey, you're finally awake. 5, 4, 3,
Changing the year.
2, 1. Thoughts?
Is it?
Yeah. No.
No.
No. Nordgeist. Okay, so it is Skyrim. So who got Skyrim?
Thank you. Well done, Tommy. Proud of you.
Tommy.
The like most famous freaking lines in that game.
You're
Yeah.
finally awake.
Ralof was the character. Again, not expecting anyone to get that. Not Nordgeist.
Do we not get points for being close? Because he is a typical Nord in the game.
No. And the year was 2011. If anyone got that, I don't.
Sake.
Okay.
Never played Skyrim. Never played Elder Scrolls. Don't play that game.
Round 10. Boy.
Come on.
Hey, I had to make it easy at some point. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Can I just show my shirt?
Well done, Matt. That is a solid 3 points for you.
Well done, buddy.
It is not Ragnarok,
No.
so that's 1 point for Jazz.
What is it? Is it 3?
Just God
Wait,
of War.
is it Ragnarok or it's not?
Just God of War. 2018 God of War.
I did put Ragnarok, so that is not a solid 3.
Oh, shit. Wait. The fact that I read 2018, I thought you would have just put the one that came out in 2018, not
God
the
of
one
War
that
3.
came out 2 years ago.
But isn't Ragnarok the one where the
which is
boy
Ragnarok.
introduced? Hence the quote.
No,
boy?
boys introduced in the first and got
God of War. Well done, everybody.
Thank you.
The scores were 17 to the hosts and 12 to the guests. So well done, hosts. You've won your first host versus guest.
Yeah. High five, buddy.
Redeem themselves after last week.
Yes, we did.
We don't talk about Bruno, Jake.
Oh, we do. we talk about that. That was abysmal. We're still. I'm pretty sure you've got a 3-month revoke on your nerd cards.
The committee of nerds did write back to us and said, we can no longer call ourselves nerds for 3 months. So
I'm pretty sure this just knocked 2 weeks off for you, though, boys. Well done.
we'll appeal with this with this new enlightening knowledge and evidence and see what they say. Allegedly, that might work.
And even though not practicing anymore, Jazz can help us.
Yeah, allegedly could help us out.
She has the books.
Allegedly.
There it is.
Everything is alleged. If you're smart, it's all alleged.
Well, that went better than I thought it would. Matt, well done on getting almost 3 points on your favorite game of all time. Had you have kept quiet, you would have got 3 points. He might have noticed it in game, in review, but then he wouldn't have been able to change anything because he said full 3 points. So he would have had to have given you the full 3 points.
Yeah, but somebody has to be honest around here because it's definitely not you. You would have cheated all the way.
All the way. Yeah, of course he would have.
100%. Look at that face. You know you fucking would have.
I'm competitive. I like to win. What can I say? Tommy, what have you got coming up, buddy? What's going on in the world of Tommy? Beautiful. Jazz, you're very, very busy doing all things, everything. But is there anything in particular you want to highlight?
Coming out at the end of this month, I have organised a charity anthology called Beyond the Normal, which has 10 amazing short stories from 10 authors, myself included, delving into the paranormal. All stories delve into the paranormal in some form or another, from comedy to horror to mystery to spicy. All proceeds will go to the Born Free Foundation, and that is publishing on Halloween.
Nice. Very nice.
Very cool.
And there is a little Christmas short story. Is there not? Is it coming out?
There is. So it's already out. The Christmas Trap is already a published book. It came out last year.
Yes.
However, it is going to be having a republish on its 1 year anniversary this year, alongside an audiobook.
Which will be dual narrated, I believe.
It will
put
be
a
dual
challenge out
narrated
on TikTok, didn't you?
Yes.
Yes.
And I've had some amazing auditions, and I will be announcing who will be or narrating that alongside me shortly.
Beautiful.
Awesome.
Which by the time this airs will probably already be revealed, because this won't be out for 2 weeks, right, Jake?
Yeah.
I was going to, I mean, in which case we can say Connor's going to be narrating it alongside me.
Of course I am. It's the only reason I talked about it. I'm super excited to get that project underway. It's going to be good fun.
He says he's joking.
I am. I would have talked about it, just not as in much detail. I'm looking forward to getting that started. That's going to be good fun. It'll be very good fun. Sweet. Matt, you've got something very exciting coming up, I know.
I do. I still don't know at this point if I can talk about it, but I am doing a new audiobook. I was headhunted by a major magazine publication to do a bunch of stories for them and put them out. And I think this is their first time attempting this. It's also my first time ever being headhunted before. No auditions, nothing. They just went and listened to some of my stuff and liked it and chose me. So, I just finished a super long chapter last night. If those who know in the audiobook world, I did an hour and 15-minute chapter. One chapter.
Oh, and the edits on that.
Oh, brutal. That was like 6 hours yesterday on one chapter. It was rough.
Yeah.
But it's going to be worth it. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'll definitely be promoting that. It's going to be really, really cool. Amongst some other projects that I'm in with Jazz and Con and Tommy, with a bunch of stuff coming out from different production companies, some really cool audio dramas coming out. Speaking of pandemic, and
that's why I got really excited, because I was like, oh fuck, I get to talk about it in a second.
Yep. We'll let Connor talk about that one, along with some more really, really cool projects coming out from Tara Sanders Media and David Parker Ross, who is a phenomenal author and has put a lot of us to some really good work here. And we have some really good stuff coming out, produced by Nels Gross from So Gross Productions. So if you know his stuff from The Hellscape, good soup. And more discs. More discs to come to you. Con, back over to you.
Beautiful. Thank you very much. Pandemic coming out 30th of this month, so this may release just before, in which case, perfect timing. Get fucking ready on Spotify, on wherever you listen to podcast dramas and whatnot. It's a fully produced audio drama by Nels, and he's fantastic. He made me sound all right. Like, I've listened to it already. I got a sneak preview because I can't make the sneak preview. It's fucking good. I can't wait for everyone to listen to it. It's good. I have no other words for it other than it's so good. Jazz is in it. I'm in it. You've got Tegan in it. Nels makes an appearance. Jazz, I believe your husband makes an appearance in it as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Quite a funny one. Oh no, that's Wait, who does that one?
Nels.
That is Nels.
That's Nels.
Yeah.
My husband is the captain of the ship.
Yes, and he does that very fucking well. Yeah, guys, go listen to it. It's fucking fantastic. I've also got Ghost in This House by Angelique Anderson. That's been fully recorded. Hopefully, I'll have it fully edited by the time this airs. And yeah, all right, fuck you. Session 9 by Christian Francis, very talented author. It's the novelization of a film that came out in 2001. It's horror. It's my first time narrating a horror book, and I can't wait to actually fully dive into it. And then, yeah, as Jazz said, I also have that nice little short story coming up, The Christmas Trap, and many other projects coming up as well. Busy, just how we like it. And I believe that wraps up this episode of DYSS. And that's Jake.
I believe so.
You've got any?
Well, I was just going to say we would ask Jake.
Yeah. But
there's really no point. We know what Jake is.
So what's coming up for me, guys, is we have a new episode releasing in 2 weeks. We have another episode after that in another 2 weeks. Another episode after that in 2 weeks. More recording with these guys, and it's just painful. The whole process.
As painful as your intro.
I'm still waiting for my peanuts.
Yeah, they're coming. I'll bring you some.
DYSS nuts.
DYSS nuts.
These nuts.
Yes. Jazz, that is beautiful.
So approved.
Yeah, 100%
so very approved.
That's, mwah.
That was so fantastic.
I'm annoyed that
done.
we haven't thought of that.
All right.
Anyway, perfect way to jump off this episode. Guys, if you will join me in as always, we will dish you later.
No, they don't want to join you.
Fine. Fuck you guys.
I didn't know what to do.
Wow, somebody watches our content. Yeah, fuck it.
It's very spicy.
It's Christmas spice. Yes. And all things naughty and nice.